Happy 2020, Cancer. It is a new year, and goodness gracious, we're out of 2020. All right. It's been quite the year that we've been passing through with all these changes, right? But let's take a look at now what 2021 is going to bring you. And boy, you've been through the ringer in your relationship area, haven't you? All the purging and the changes and the balancing and all this. And we can see this by checking out your 7th house right over here. In 2020, you had Jupiter and Saturn and Pluto there, plus whatever transits went through. You had all the retrogrades. And, that, for one thing, slowed things down. But it allowed you a lot of time to go in, purge, and transform. So you're still in this transformation. We still have Pluto here at 24 degrees, right? So we still got 6 more degrees for that Pluto to get out of this area. You've had that for quite a few years, actually, right? But 2020 was really the year that things turned around. You looked at what was important, what no longer is important, setting boundaries. Now, I think, for a lot of you Cancerians, that can be quite hard, isn't it? Because you're so nurturing. You want everybody to be happy. The question has been, what about your happiness? This is, what has been going on, allowing you to kind of look at your needs, your desires, and so forth, and setting the records straight. So be proud of yourself. Didn't come easy, but let me tell you, things are going to ease up this year, right? So that Jupiter and Saturn has now moved into your 8th house, and that has to do with values. Not necessarily money as an income that we see in your 2nd house here when planets or transits go through it. The 8th house is more about savings or money that you have with your partner, right? It could be your investments, it could be your insurance, anything, your 401k. This year, and I say year because Jupiter takes approximately a year to move through each and every one of these little pie slices, if you wish, which we call houses, by the way. So Jupiter is going to look to how you can expand, how you can grow your savings, how can you grow your investments. For a lot of you, you will see how this is going to become very important. Royalties and commissions too. You might see a big growth on that for those of you who work on that kind of platform. I feel a lot of you do. Some of you have really taken on to what? To technology and out into your tribes, your groups, and so forth. And that is because Uranus here in the 11th house of hopes and dreams, but also your social network. And Uranus is all about technology. It's about the internet and so forth, and the future, and reaching out to your tribe, to your friends in a different way, in a technological way. So for those of you who have started an online business, and I say business because Uranus is moving through the sign of Taurus, which is a great business sign. They're all about money and security and building, that foundation. So some of you, and maybe because of the lockdown and the slowdown of 2020, has allowed you to look at, what can I do? What can I do other than my day job, right? And when we're talking about day job, well, Mars normally moves through one of these areas in 6 weeks. This time it's taken 6 months because of its retrograde. And where did it slow things down so you were able to have extended time to look into what it is that you truly want? The 10th house being career, but also your goals, right? So Mars, which is in the sign of Aries, upon which it rules, gives it that double whammy energy. So it's kind of slowed down for you to actually look at what you want, what you desire. And since we're talking career, Mars, and we're talking technology and groups, and we're looking at an expansion of more money coming in that you actually can put aside, not just your income, your day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month income. is all about your second house, but you could actually grow savings this year if you think smart. We're going to follow that Mars because it takes 8 houses where it's going to pass through your chart. It starts off 27 degrees in Aries. So already here in January, 7th, it will move out of this area. So you have between now, when you're listening to this, the January 7th, to get all your ducks in a row. And if you do that correctly, it's going to bring that signature of your career into all of that of 2021. From January 7th, and now we're going to follow Mars and what Mars is going to do for you. Well, here we go. It's going to move from the career, but bringing it along with it. It's not just like leaving it behind. It's going to bring what you have accomplished now these last 6 months into the area of groups, social networking. You're going to be very busy here networking, but also with your friends, interacting with them. Maybe you haven't had all that time, and of course we've been kind of limited, haven't we, to get out and be social. So definitely be more social. But that power, that oomph that you have created, you're going to bring that in to your tribe. If you are thinking business, watch this month really be super important for you, especially when it crosses over the degree of Uranus. It's like unlocking a door, right? Opening a window for all this new potential. And of course, Uranus in itself rules this area of the 11th house. So it's super powerful here. And Mars will open up for that change. And be ready for it, because Uranus also rules the unexpected. We never know. It's like a box of chocolate. All right. So, yes, it's going to give energy. It's going to give a dynamic force, and it's going to super propel you off into new areas. And after that transit, when they meet, you're going to carry that signature with you all along into the 12th house. Now, this is the time where you probably would like to rest up a little bit. This is now coming into spring. To rest up a little bit, because boy, did you take out a lot of energy January and February. So kind of like around March, you're like, I just want to rest up a little bit, right? And do so. But don't be fooled. It's not just sleeping or laying on couch vegging. It's more resting in the sense where you're giving yourself sometimes some space to listen. Listen within. This is where you're downloading all that energy and inspiration from above. This is the area of Pisces, the Piscean house, where we're highly creative in the sign of Gemini, which is very verbal, right? So, and really likes to research and get to know things. So behind the scenes, in other words, that's why you're pulling out a little bit to find some time to pull behind the scenes. And that, here you are, getting new ideas, new energy. You've learned something from when it passed through the 11th house. So once Mars gets into Cancer, this is when you're going to show the world what you've been doing behind the scenes. Whatever you've implemented, you're ready to show it. You're coming across very energetically so, and it will now allow you to be seen, so to speak. And when you do, what is that going to do? It is going to up your income area, the second house here of Leo. And Mars, when it's in this area, once every 2 years, mind you, so you don't really get often these chances, but this is a time when you're going to be attracting a lot of money. And not only will it come in, but watch out. Mars will also want to splurge money, use some money, right? You might have some earmarked situations where you would like to, splurge a little bit. And do you deserve it? You've worked hard the last couple of years, haven't you? So don't hold back there. Just don't be penny wise, pound foolish when it comes, but do expect a good income at this time. Mars will then move into the 3rd house, which is all about communication, If you have presentations to do, this is a great time to do so. It's also traveling, not necessarily long distance. That's more up here in the ninth house. Third house is more about taking a road trip, getting out of town for a weekend, just to loosen up and have a little bit of diversity going on. It likes to move that energy. And also it rules your neighborhood, your siblings, your closer community, not necessarily like up there in the 11th house. So yeah, you're going to be quite active there. Anything that rules language, speaking, writing, presenting, all those things. This is the house of Mercury, which loves to talk and communicate. This is a great time for you. Watch all that energy go into that. You're presenting yourself. You're presenting those things that you believe in. And I feel it could be quite detailed, very organized. Your focus is on getting everything in order because it's in the sign of Virgo at the time, which is really, really organized. Moving into family towards the latter part of the year, we're now into autumn. The fourth house is all about your foundation. It's your family, your roots, who you are on the inside, right? So Mars is now going to want to take a little time for the family, and which is good. You might have projects which you've been so busy throughout the year, you haven't really been able to go clean that garage or organize the loft or the basement. But watch now, all that energy is going to be poured into your home and into the family who probably needs you. You need them. All right. And you're loving it because it's balancing you out. In the sign of Libra, which it is, Libra loves balance, loves harmony. Mars is going to fight to balance things up and to beautify. Think about Libra, ruled by Venus, is all about beauty, harmony, balance. Mars wants more of that. So coming into now, say, October into December, Mars will be moving through your fifth house, which is a wonderful house. Love, love, love that house. That area of your life is all about pleasure and leisure, having fun, doing the things that you love and desire to do, your hobbies, right? It's about self-expression. So whatever, floats your boat, this is the time for you to go do it. It can be very artsy, whatever that means to you. For those of you having your own business, this is a great time to be creative, right? The creative juices are flowing here in the fifth house, and it also rules children. So it could be more extended time with your children, interacting with them, supporting them, and so forth, and deepening the bonds. And that's because of Scorpio really loves genuine, deep bonds. It's catching up with who they are, what they want, need, desire. How can you fit in? How can you support that? And so forth. And then Mars finalizes its journey, 12 degrees in Sagittarius by the end of the year, December 31st. So you get to dip in here, at least half the sign in December, to kind of feel where you're going to start off 2022. That's where it's going to pick up, January 1st. December 2022, January 2022, in the sign and in the area of your day-to-day routine. So from top of the year straight through 2021, you're ending up looking at, how is my day-to-day routine? Does it flow? Has it worked for me? Is it overcrowded, too busy? Do I need to cleanse out? Do I need to straighten up my office or my files, or how can I become more productive? Because the more organized you are, the more successful you will be, because you don't have all that clutter that you see on a daily basis and telling yourself subconsciously, oh yeah, I need to clean up that area. I need to do this. It kind of gets in the way, doesn't it? So this is the time for you to really get organized, be ready for 2022 so you can have a flying start. Mars is really good. It's very speedy once it gets onto it. You might have thought that earlier in the year that, ooh, yeah, I should do this and that so I can become more efficient. But then Mars isn't really focused on that. Mars is busy in these other areas of your chart. So you might easily, like everybody else, push it aside a little bit until we come to that crucial time where we have the energy on our side supporting us, moving things out of the way, boxing up whatever it is. That's when we see magic happen. So that is the whole transit of Mars in 2021. You'll know where now to focus throughout the year, and you might want to come back, later upon the year and catch up, re-listen to this by all means so that you know where your energies are. And of course, on a monthly basis, on our monthly readings, we will be talking about specifically, the area at the time where it is in January, is in March, and so forth, so that you get that feel and that flow. But, there's that dreamer within you, and that's Neptune up here in the 9th house. It's been with you for quite a few years now, at least 3 to 4 years. And I could see how so many of you Cancerians are asking the right questions. To who? To yourself. Why am I here? What's the purpose and whatnot? Spiritually, your consciousness has been growing, tapping into higher dimensions, other dimensions, to deepen, the walk that you have as we're passing through in this little snapshot of time on planet Earth, right? And by asking the right questions, the answers will always come. When you seek, you find. Continue doing that. And it has really been lifting your spirits. And I'm happy to see that, especially for those of you who are born in the first half of your sign. You've already gone through this transformation. For the rest of you, it is coming. That's those of you who are born, say second half of Cancer. You're going to have that Neptunian spiritual experience, and it really brings up a lot of artist energy as well, since Pisces is highly creative. You might have found that you've had a lot of, latent talents and skills that's been wanting to come up, that's been calling you, so go further when that comes. But I do say meditation is key for your growth. Higher knowledge, the sky's the limit. The universe is vast, and it's as vast inside of us as it is out there. So those inner journeys can really accelerate you and your spiritual journey and consciousness. So that is the overall insights of 2021 and what is going to be different for you in this year as opposed to 2020. You're kind of out of that lock-in relationships. You have empowered yourself. You know more now who you are, what you want, where you're heading, right? And to get more of that insight, go listen to your moon and rising sign. And I can only underline that for you and its importance, because here where you see Jupiter and Saturn building this new financial structure, giving you an anchor as you expand, right? Because Jupiter expands, is very, very abundant. But Saturn is sober. It wants to not take risks. So it will be looking at good places to grow your money in investments, but not take a leap off the cliff, so to speak, which Jupiter wants to do. So this is good. But in your moon reading, the sign of your moon, you will see where these two planets, which is the most important ones this year, will show up somewhere else in your chart. And you will see where that expansion is taking place. And then in your rising sign chart, you will see where Jupiter is wanting to grow and expand that area for you. So if you don't know where your moon and rising sign are, find out, right? And then come back and listen to it. So you've got 3 charts you want to listen to. And then, of course, take a look at your partner's chart. See where he or she is growing and expanding this year, just so you can know just how compatible you're going to be in 2021. So listen, guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you next month. Have a good one.